College Football Now is your one-stop shop for all things in the greatest sport on earth of college football, as we're talking news and rumors, everything from the transfer portal, recruiting, NIL, the college football playoff, and more. I want to get at least 20 subs off today's video. Can you guys make it happen? Let's reach 395,000 subscribers. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV, and we'll get started with today's show. You're watching College Football Now, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jeltzer with you. Thanks for joining us. Carson Beck of the Georgia Bulldogs, within the last couple of weeks, announced that he was leaving Georgia to enter the NFL draft. Now he has withdrawn his name from the draft and will not be returning to Georgia, however. He will enter the transfer portal and will have a new home in 2025. Where will he end up? We'll go over the top destinations for Carson Beck coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, let's take a look at the numbers for Carson Beck. This year, there was a lot of hype about Carson Beck entering 2024. A lot of folks thought he was going to be the top quarterback selected in this year's draft. He was one of the top prospects entering the season, and it was a disappointing year for Carson Beck after a rough start to 2024. He ended up leading Georgia to the SEC title game, suffered an injury there. Georgia ended up winning the SEC championship, made the college football playoff, but with an injury that Beck suffered, he was out, and the Georgia Bulldogs were eliminated in the quarterfinals with a loss to Notre Dame. This season, threw for 28 touchdowns. His interception number doubled, went from 6 to 12, and threw less yards, and his completion percentage was down quite a bit from a season ago. According to ESPN college football insider Pete Thamel, he says that Beck is expected to choose where he will go within the next week, that this is all going to move pretty quickly. And Thamel gave an update also on Carson Beck's injury that he suffered in the SEC championship game against Texas. That injured elbow, according to Thamel, Beck will not be able to throw until March. He'll be good to go before the summer camp after elbow surgery. So wherever he ends up, he won't take part in spring ball, but he should be able to catch up to speed when it comes to summer camp and get ready for the season on that front as far as that goes. So where will Carson Beck play next season? Let's ask you. We're going to go over our 5 potential destinations in a moment, but want to hear from you guys first. Get your predictions in the comment section and let us know where you think he's going to go. So let's rank the top 5 destinations of where Carson Beck ends up in the transfer portal. Got to imagine that with all the money that's out there, that Carson Beck is not going to be cheap for whatever team ends up bringing him in. Let's start at number 5 with the Florida State Seminoles. Mike Norvell is back after a disappointing 2-win season in 2024, the most disappointing team in the country this season. They brought in DJU from Oregon State, the former top quarterback at Clemson, and things did not go well for DJU and this Florida State team. Mike Norvell and company, they are very desperate. There's a lot of pressure on Mike Norvell to get this team back on track. And when you think big picture for Florida State as well, this is a program that is trying to navigate their way out of the ACC. They're trying to prove that they potentially belong in one of the major conferences like the SEC or the Big Ten. They were snubbed from the college football playoff a season ago. Could Carson Beck be the answer they're looking for to not only contend for a national title, but also make a statement that they belong with the top dogs in college football in one of those power conferences? That could be an interesting fit for the Florida State Seminoles. We'll go over 4 more teams in just a moment, but first, let's tell you about today's sponsor. That is Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more. Game Time's got you covered. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that is a deal you don't want to pass up on. They also have their seat views, so you can get the visual, see what that seat is like. You can customize your seat as well. I got to tell you, I love Game Time. I have saved a lot of money, and the best thing I like about Game Time is maybe I decide at the very last minute, you know what, I want to go to a game tonight, for example. Well, the prices go down the closer it gets to when that event begins on Game Time, folks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. We go from one ACC team to another. The most talked-about team in the Atlantic Coast Conference these days is the North Carolina Tar Heels. They have a brand-new head coach, the greatest coach in the history of the National Football League, Bill Belichick. And when you think about this, if you're Carson Beck, after having a disappointing season, not getting the draft reviews that you would have hoped for when you initially declared for the NFL draft, what better way to get yourself ready for the NFL and get some fine-tuning than working with Bill Belichick? And I know, say what you want, that Belichick hasn't had great success with quarterbacks not named Tom Brady in the National Football League, but you better believe that the people that he brings in, they're going to know what it takes and what Carson Beck needs to do. You already have Freddie Kitchen staying around on that staff, the former Cleveland Browns head coach. Michael Lombardi is in that program as well. There's some real NFL people there, and that could be exactly what Carson Beck is looking for there. Number 3, we finally leave the ACC and we enter Big 12 country as we find the Texas Tech Red Raiders at the number 3 spot on our list. Joey McGuire heading up that Texas Tech program. Texas Tech, this is a team that has a chance to really take the bull by the horns in the Big 12 Conference. This league is wide open. Arizona State was picked last in the Big 12 this year, and they ended up winning the entire league. It is wide open for its future. Texas Tech has incredible recruiting grounds there at Texas of who they can potentially bring in and the talent they can surround themselves with. They also have a pretty decent alumni base that can pay well on top of that. And you look at that situation for Texas Tech, trying to compete to take that next step. They obviously have the ties to Patrick Mahomes, and he's heavily invested in that program there. If they bring in Carson Beck, that could do wonders for that program potentially, and they could certainly compete, you would imagine, for a Big 12 title and a college football playoff spot. And with having Mahomes in view there and seeing that, hey, we turned Patrick Mahomes into a top 10 quarterback at this very school, that might be attractive to Carson Beck as far as that goes. We'll go to our final 2 schools in a moment, but first, fill in the blank. Carson Beck is a top blank college quarterback in 2025. A lot of people thought he was going to be the best quarterback entering 2024. That didn't happen. What will it be in 2025? Fill in the blank for me. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know. Number 2, it is the Ohio State. The Ohio State Buckeyes, led by Will Howard this year. They are competing in the college football playoff semifinals, 2 wins away from winning a national title. Will Howard, he'll be going to the National Football League next season. They'll be looking for a new quarterback. They are going to lose a number of key skill position players, but Jeremiah Smith, just a freshman, is still going to be there along with many others. That should be a dynamic offense. Ryan Day has ties to the NFL as well. He's developed quarterbacks and got them ready for the National Football League. Look at C.J. Stroud in his example. More recently speaking, I think that could be a potential good fit for two reasons there of not only the NFL development, but still competing for a national title there for Carson Beck if he goes to Ohio State. The final school to watch on our list, number one, according to reports, is the Miami Hurricanes. Miami had a breakout season this year with Cam Ward coming over from Washington State. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the country, could be the first quarterback taken in this year's draft, and Mario Cristobal has a blueprint there. Hey, you come here, we can take you up another notch, and you're going to be in an exciting, high-powered offense here and really show up and show out in Cam Ward's footsteps there. And who doesn't want to live in Miami, hang out and go to the U and all that? That could be a very attractive option there for our guy Carson Beck. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of College Football Now. Subscribe for free. We got continuing coverage on the channel. I'm headed out to the Cotton Bowl tomorrow night. Harrison Graham will join me. We'll have coverage on the channel from that game, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time right here on College Football Now.